Hey friends, hope you're all doing well. We thought we would kick off this week by sending you guys an update on how things have been going during our 28-day strict lockdown, which is really just a few days away from wrapping up. So last week on Thursday, we had all of our staff and kids get tested for COVID-19, and I'm excited to share that despite nearly 50% of our staff and 100% of our young adults testing positive since the beginning of this pandemic, only 5 of our children have tested positive. And the greatest thing is that of our staff and young adults, only 1 had kind of moderate symptoms. The rest have really been pretty asymptomatic. And of the children, only 1 had very, very mild symptoms, and the rest were asymptomatic. And without the test, we wouldn't even know they had COVID. So, yeah, it's great. Only 2 of our children still require isolation, and that's because despite being asymptomatic, tests show that they're in the phase where they could still transmit the virus to other people. So. But yeah, in general, really good news. These 28 days, well, 3 weeks that we've been in lockdown have been really encouraging in other ways as well. It's been great to see the bonding that has existed amongst our staff, our caregivers. These are incredible women who left their families, at their homes. They have been in no physical contact with their loved ones during this time. And on top of that, they've been living together in very dorm-style settings. And we have had no complaints. Really, it's been a moment where I think they've all gotten to know each other so much more. They've supported each other and the kids in such a great way. So we're coming out of this feeling really positive, really encouraged, and obviously really thankful for how we haven't experienced any major sickness. During these 3 weeks, there's been other stuff going on as well here in Bolivia. On August the 3rd, the government announced that the school year was over. And that's like a little over halfway through our school year here in Bolivia. The logic behind it, and I think that a lot of people can understand this and accept this, is that, a lot of students can educate from a distance. They have access to technology and to internet. There are a lot of students out there who live in more marginalized settings, who have more humble conditions, and they don't have access to the technology and the internet connection, and so it's unjust that some kids can be educated and other kids can't. However, it came as a shock, and a lot of parents and teachers were not in agreement with that. Thankfully, all 4 of the schools that our children attend have made the decision to continue education virtually regardless of that decision. So that's great. And then, just to throw things, a little wrench in things, last week the Judicial Court in La Paz made the decision that this resolution to end the school year of the government wasn't constitutional. And so nobody really knows what's happening right now, if school is officially on or not. But thankfully our kids continue to be educated, which is the important part. We've also just come out of a little over 3 weeks of protests and blockades. These started in response to the electoral court's decision to postpone elections from September to October, as this wasn't the first time they had postponed these elections. And so, regardless of what side of the debate you stand on, the impact of these blockades was pretty considerable. I mean, they blocked all the major roads throughout the country, and that meant that oxygen and medical supplies weren't able to get to the main hospitals treating COVID patients. And aside from that, food and other equipment wasn't making it to the main city centers. And so There apparently have been dozens of people that passed away due to lack of oxygen, and it definitely raised the tensions around the country along political lines. Thankfully, a week ago they came to a truce because a law was passed that said that the elections, ratified to be held on October the 18th, they cannot be postponed anymore. And so basically they said they're putting all the protests and blockades on pause until the 18th. And so we'll see what happens depending on how the results of the elections go. So yeah, that is an update. We've been making some adjustments in our quarantine as situations have evolved, but honestly, we feel really optimistic about how things have been going, and we're just so grateful about how things have been turning out for our kids and our staff. Just wanted to give a shout out to Bel Prez, a church partner in the U.S., to La Mission, an organization in Canada, and to all of those individuals who have been generously contributing to our pandemic response. We've been able to buy laptops for our kids, up our bandwidth, install mesh systems so that our kids can continue remote learning with all the technology they need. We've been able to continue to buy our biosecurity and disinfection materials for our homes to keep our staff and kids safe. And we've been able to pay for regular testing for our kids and staff, which has allowed us to respond to their health needs and care for them in a really timely manner. So thank you so much for all who have supported this. So yeah, that is our update. Definitely hope you all are doing well. Until next time, take care.